Okay, so we're seeing a slightly better day in the bubbles. Also, we're seeing a slightly better day on Bitcoin. We're just about the 65,000. But the reality is that if you're here and you're expecting a full-blown alt season out of this recovery, you need to think again, because that alt season ain't coming. And I'm going to show you the data why the alt season ain't coming, but I'm also going to show you exactly when the alt season will be here. So I'm not only going to tell you why it's not here right now, I'm going to show you exactly when alt season will arrive. So that's the first thing we're going to talk about today. The next thing I want to talk to you about today is this, because in this recovery over here, what you can see is that the meme coins aren't really recovering very much. And if you look at the dominance in terms of where the meme coin mindshare is, you can see it's slightly dropping. But I don't want to talk about meme coins today. I want to talk about the effect that is having on Solana. And if you look at Solana, Solana's been one of the weakest meme coins out, one of the weakest tokens out there. And I'm genuinely very, very, very worried about Solana. And I want to show you why I'm worried about Solana, because I think Solana got caught up in a whole lot of memes. So if you're holding Solana, you probably also want to be watching the show. So we're going to talk about alt season. We're going to talk about why it's not here now. And we're going to talk about when it is coming. And then I'm going to talk to you about a serious chat about Solana. So lots to do today. Let's get going, guys. I know a lot of you have tuned in today just so that you could see my tattoos again and my six-pack. I know that's why you guys are tuning in today, but sorry to disappoint. That was definitely a once in a lifetime, which is never, ever, ever happening again, especially that after the amount of people that sent that clip to my wife. I've basically been warned that if I ever do that again, I'm probably going to not have a wife anymore. So it's not happening anymore. I hope you enjoyed it yesterday. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about GUMMY and the burning of the supply and what that actually means. We're going to talk about baked. We're going to talk about the alt season. We're going to talk about so many other things today. We've got a lot to talk about today. Just before we do, I just want to remind you guys that thank you for the 883,000 subscribers that have subscribed to the channel. Remember, when you subscribe to the channel, if you are subscribed to Banter and you're subscribed to Banter Plus and you have an exchange account, you can win the Banter bags. And today we have another protocol in the Banter bags. That means that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 protocols, 14 A-grade protocols in the Banter bags. If you want to win the Banter bags, you have to be a subscriber of Banter and Banter Plus. So it's not only Banter. Today we have a new token or a new protocol that has given us $1,000 worth of their pre-IDO tokens in the Banter bags. Who are they? They are Orderly Network. Now, what is Orderly? I've known Orderly and I've been invested in Orderly for a long, long, long time. They are effectively a unified permissionless liquidity layer for trading liquidity on the whole of Web3. So they describe themselves as a sex level performance, the end for the hunt on liquidity, completely decentralized. And they talk about omni-chain trading, the ability to trade liquidity across multiple chains. So this is one of those very, very, very serious protocols. They're having their token launch sometime in July, and they've given us $1,000 worth of pre-IDO tokens. So you're getting them at the pre-IDO price, and those are in the Banter bag. So remember, if you want the Banter bags, you have to be subscribed to Banter and Banter Plus. Don't be like, what is her name? Coffee Please, where she didn't subscribe to Banter Plus. Coffee Please, and she didn't subscribe to Banter Plus. I think did we agree to still give her the Banter bags? I don't remember. But don't be like that person. Make sure that you subscribe to Banter. Make sure you subscribe to Banter Plus. Also, make sure you like this video so we can get the message out there. You remember how it works. The more you like the video, the more excited I get, the more energy I get, the more alpha I give you guys. So that's exactly what it's like. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of today's show. We are having a bit of a recovery, as I said. It's not a serious recovery, even though earlier today, as you can see, there was a little bit of a wick up, which took us to about 66,500. We also had the bubbles, which were very, very, very green this morning. In fact, all the bubbles were green this morning. But then if you look at the last hour, a total disaster on the bubbles. And that's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about today. Because even though we were getting a bit of a recovery on Bitcoin, we're still very, very, very much in the middle of this range. And I think people are starting to get flushed out by this time-based capitulation. We spoke about the time-based capitulation for a long time. But people are starting to get flushed out. And as Victor says here in this tweet, he says, please don't tell me we're in this ship. I think he meant, please don't tell me we're in the shit. for another 100 days, because we've gone for about 123 days, and the last time that we had this sideways chop, it was 223 days. Now, I mentioned to you that this is how the market likes to shake people out. That's what this time-based capitulation is. And what this time-based capitulation does is it gets people disinterested. And when they're disinterested, as Kyle says, he says, when people are disinterested, they keep saying that the bull market is over, and that is when the best buying opportunities are here. Remember, as frustrating as it is, you want to be buying when no one's interested, and you want to be selling when everyone's interested and everyone's coming. And I know it's difficult. And I know that in times like today, the last thing that you want to do is actually press the buy button, especially when the thumbnail says alt season is cancelled and you're pressing the buy button for alts. But the reality is that the good traders are pressing the buy button now when it's uncomfortable to press the buy button. And they're pressing the sell button when other people are pressing the buy button when everyone's getting excited about the market moves. The sooner you get that into your head, the better. And the way that I got that into my head was I once created 2 accounts. The first account was I traded what I felt. And the other account is I traded the opposite of what I felt. And the account that traded what I felt got liquidated. And the account that traded the opposite of what I felt made me amazing cash. So what you need to do is you need to buy when it's uncomfortable. And right now, it's feeling very uncomfortable. In fact, it's feeling so uncomfortable right now that no one actually wants to be buying tokens anymore. In fact, from a leverage point of view, where you see blue, we've had such a flush out of the leverage that right now you are actually paid to go long on certain tokens. Where you see the shades of blue, that means that you're actually paid, instead of paying interest when you go long on a token, here you are actually being paid to go long. That's how much the market has actually reset. That's how much people have left the market. And so as Mando says, he says, funding is the lowest in 3 months. So many people being shaken out. I really think we are about to rip. And when you looked at the bubbles this morning, it did for a second look like we were about to rip. It did look like we were about to rip. But the truth is, you cannot be fooled because you got to look at the fundamentals. And that's what I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about the fundamentals because a lot of people were walking around this morning. Somebody sent me a message. I actually want to read you the message. I want to read it to you. It says, Bitcoin and altcoins are about to explode in the next 4 weeks. I'm putting in a lot of longs. Now, I'm not going to embarrass you because you know who you are. You know because you texted me today. But I'm going to show you that maybe we should be buying now, but not because we think the market is going to rip, but because we think that for now the market's not going to rip and people are going to lose interest. And that is when you want to be buying so that you are well positioned for when the market rips. It's a change in paradigm. And I know it sounds very theoretical, and when you're all going there, look, I'm not pressing the buy button today, but I'm telling you that is what makes a difference between a good investor and a bad investor. And as I said, you need to look at the fundamentals of why I say that in the long term, in the short term, we ain't going to get an alt season. Okay, it's not the news that I want to bring. You know that I always want to bring you positive, bullish noise. But the reality is, when I look at the data says alt season ain't coming anytime soon. And I'll show you in a second why alt season ain't coming anytime soon. Let's quickly define what we need for us to get an alt season. If we want to get an alt season, we need more money coming into the market than there are new tokens in the market. Just think about like the way that an alt season goes up is if there is so much money in the market that every single token in the market gets bought up and that there is more demand than there is supply. And that is what is going to push the prices up. Now, if you think about it on a market where there's no new tokens launching, if you just get new money in, that starts pushing up the price of altcoins. Problem is that in this market, we keep launching new projects and we're launching projects every single day. And these are not normal projects. These are like very high FDV projects. I mean, just look at the token launches in the last, let's just see if we can get this. Look at the token launches since April. Now, this is not all the token launches. This is just some of the token launches since April. They've got a $35 billion fully diluted valuation. Now, as I said to you, if we want there to be an alt season, we need there to be more money flowing in than there are tokens coming onto the market and FTV coming onto the market. Okay, so now let's look at the money flowing inside of the equation. Well, I showed you some of the supply of tokens. I haven't shown you how big this mess actually is, but I am going to show you the other side of it. Because as I said, if you want the alt season, you need money coming into the market. So let's look at the money coming into the market. And then based on the data of the money coming into the market, let's make a decision as to whether or not we're close to alt season. So money coming into the market. Let's quickly get the actual data when it comes to money coming into the market. What is the money coming into the market? Really right now, the money coming into the market comes from two sources. The first source of money on the market is inflows that are coming into stablecoins. And if you look at this chart, which shows the market cap change for the stablecoins, as Carl says, the market is starved of new money, and that screams risk aversion. Tether's market cap, the mirror of sentiment, reveals digital asset demand. Rising cap signals interest, falling ones show institutional retreat. For Bitcoin and digital assets to surge, we need a fresh wave of stablecoins. But the rate at which the market cap of stablecoins is changing, which is this pink line over here, is dropping very, very fast. And in fact, if we look at the data over here, and we look at the last, I don't know, let's look since April. So it's April, May, June. So it's 3 months. If we look at the last 3 months, what's the date today? Today is the 20th. So let's just be a bit more scientific. 3 months ago, the total stablecoin market cap in the market was $156 billion. Today, the total stablecoin market cap is $162 billion, which means that in total, a total amount of $6 billion has flown into the market via stablecoins. The other source for money in the market is ETF inflow. So you'll agree with me that the only way for money to come into this market is either to come in through ETF inflows or to come in through stablecoins. So the stablecoins have had a $6 billion net increase in the last 3 months. Okay, so let's go to the other side of where the money is coming in from. And the other side of where the money is coming in from is the ETF inflows. We look at the ETF inflows every single day. So we made a spreadsheet and we looked at the ETF inflows in the last 60 days. In the last 60 days, there have been $2.5 billion of net inflows. So the total amount of net inflows into this market in the last 60 days, let's just call it 60 days. Let's instead of going to 90 days, let's go to 60 days. So in terms of, so April to May, May to June. So here we go. Okay, so 60 days is perfect. So 6 billion in stable coins plus 2.5 billion in Bitcoin ETF inflows. Now we're going to make an assumption, which is a wrong assumption, by the way. We're going to make an assumption that every single cent that came into Bitcoin ETF inflows stayed in the market and actually went to altcoins. It's just like a hypothetical assumption, but that assumption is highly, highly, highly exaggerated. We're talking about a total of here, as we said, 5 billion or 6 billion, and here 2.5 billion. So in total, we've got about $7.5 billion of total net inflows into the market. $7.5 billion in the last 60 days. But at the same time, we have launched so many projects. Now, when I tweeted about this the other day, I said there are just too many projects with too many tokens, with too high FDV, and there's just absolutely no new investors. In fact, if we look at the amount of tokens that we have actually launched, just in, I mean, this is not all of them. This is like the last 10 that have launched. That's $34 billion in FDV created with inflows of only $7.5 billion into the market. So right now, there are just too many projects with too many tokens, no new investors coming into the market, and the projects that are launching are very, 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 very high FDV projects. In fact, if you look at a CoinGecko report, they are saying that in 2024, 2.5 million tokens have actually launched into this market. 2.5 million tokens, and that doesn't take into account the FDV of these tokens. And the FDV of the tokens that we've launched in 2024 is much higher than any other period in crypto history. Why? Because unlike other markets where projects used to launch at lower, launch before the VCs actually bid them up. In this market, what you're getting is you're getting the VCs buying the projects off market to very, very, very high valuations. And then when they launch the market, they're trying to launch them to the market at higher valuations, but unfortunately the market's not buying this. So as I said, right now, too many projects, too many tokens, too much FDV, no new investors, 2.5 million new tokens this year, and that includes the meme coins, which have effectively sucked the life out of the market. I did speak to you guys about this the other day, and I said that I estimate that meme coins have sucked $100 billion out of the market and put them into meme coins, which effectively evaporated. So it wasn't like they all went into meme coins, and meme coins are very good projects. They went into meme coins, and meme coins, most of them just evaporate into thin air. And I estimate that we probably wiped off $50 billion in the market cap in the latest meme coin correction. So everybody's talking about it, the fact that there's too many layer ones, there's too many layer twos, there's too many games, there's too many real world assets, there's too many meme coins, too many tokens, too many high FDV tokens. Who is going to buy all of these things if the total inflow into the market has only been $7 billion? But basically, what we've created is we've created a scenario where it's impossible for this market to go up. Why is it impossible for the market to go up? Because there's no money coming in, and there's more tokens launching every single day, and they're very high FDV tokens. And today is no different. In fact, if you look at today, we've got another one of these launches. We've got LayerZero. LayerZero is an absolutely brilliant protocol. The problem is that if you want to buy LayerZero today, because no new money is coming in, what do you have to do? Like I said this morning, I love LayerZero. I want to buy more LayerZero. And I shared the sentiment of a friend of mine who says, I'm in the process of buying a huge bag of LayerZero. Been so much fun around the airdrop that it's been overcooked. So it's great. He's right. Right now, LayerZero is probably very undervalued, right? And you should probably, at a valuation of $3.8 billion. Wow, that's an absolute steal. Like really. $3.8 billion is an absolute steal for LayerZero. You should all be buying LayerZero. The only problem is, since there's no new money coming into crypto, if you want to buy LayerZero, where are you going to get money from? Logically, what you're going to do is you're going to go and sell some of your Solana bags, or some of your ETH bags, or maybe some of your Bitcoin bags. And when that happens, all you're doing is pushing the prices of your favorite tokens down so that you can buy some of the new tokens that are new and shiny and amazing and offer amazing returns. And that's why the prices are going to continue to come down, because we keep launching more tokens. They are good tokens and good protocols. They are undervalued relative to what we think their long-term valuations are going to be. But the problem is that if you want to buy them, you have to sell other tokens. And so there is a new dynamic in the market now, because the market is actually starting to resolve itself. And I'll talk to you about that in a couple of seconds. But Miles said, he said, the private public crypto market arbitrage seems to be coming to an end. LayerZero is sitting at now a $3.5 billion valuation. The last raise was about a year ago at $3 billion, which means that VCs paid $3 billion for this protocol, and you can buy the same protocol right now on Evo at $3.85 billion. The only difference is, when you're buying your tokens, you have zero lockup. The VCs are probably locked up for 4 years. I know that because we're in that VC round, and I think we're locked up for 2 or 3 years. You guys can go and buy it at the same valuation that we bought it for a year ago, and you can pay $800 million more on the fully diluted valuation. Now, what sounds like a better deal? And so what you can see from this is that right now, the market is starting to heal. And we'll talk about that right now. But as I said, I do think that right now, if you look at a protocol like LayerZero, right now you're buying a protocol because there's no interest in this market, because there's no new money coming in. You're buying a protocol that will probably trade at a $7, $8, $9, $10 billion fully diluted valuation when the market does recover, and you're buying it at $3.8 billion. I think it's an unbelievable protocol to be buying. And if you want to be buying it, you can buy it at any of our exchange partners. You can buy it on Bybit. You can buy it on Blowfin. You can buy it on Evo. I do want to talk to you for 1 second about buying it on Evo. So there are links here if you want to trade it on any of the exchanges. By the way, if you do trade it on Blowfin, you will get a baked airdrop. So there is the link. You have to sign up with that link. You have to be buying tokens on Blowfin, and you will get the baked airdrop. I'll talk to you about that in a second. I do also think that it's a good idea to be trading these things on Evo. And the reason why I say it's good to be trading these accounts on Evo, and there is a link in the description to open an account on Evo. Number one, you get one of the last GUMMY airdrops. But the other thing is, Evo trades these perpetuals before the token is launched. That's the beauty of Evo. So you can see that even though the project only launched a couple of hours ago, Evo has been trading this for a much longer period of time. And you actually could have traded on the sentiment of the market before we actually went onto the market and all the other exchanges. If you want to sign up to EVO, use this link over here. You'll stand a chance to win the Banter bags, and you will get a gummy airdrop as well. So go and sign up and go and trade on EVO. All right, so now we know what's wrong with the market. But it's not all doom and gloom. And it really isn't all doom and gloom. We know that there's too many tokens that are launching too quickly. I've showed you exactly the flow of money, which is equal to the stablecoin inflows, which was this number over here, which was we said it was about, it's $5-6 billion plus the ETF inflows, which equal $2.5 billion. So we know exactly what the source of money coming into the market is. Now, let's also look at, we looked at what's draining the money out the market. Now let's look at why this is not such a gloomy picture. So number one, you got to remember that markets oscillate between overbought and oversold. Markets oscillate between euphoria and fear. That's how markets oscillate. Now, no doubt that we were in a period of euphoria and people were buying anything and projects were launching anything and anyone was going to pump.fun and launching as many tokens as they can as quickly as possible because they knew that the degen apes would actually ape into their bags. The good news is that it seems like that hype is actually coming to an end. And I said to you yesterday, I said, for me, memes drained about $100 billion out of this ecosystem. And now that hype is actually coming to an end. The meme coin dominance in the major altcoin market is actually starting to come down. It means that people aren't just keen to just throw money into these vaporware meme coin projects. And they're kind of going, look, maybe we were a little bit too euphoric. Maybe we were getting a little bit carried away. And now we got a bit of a shock. And we've got to get back to buying quality. And if you want to talk about buying quality, what you can see is that in this recovery of the market, if you look at the recovery of the market here, what you can see is that meme coins haven't recovered as well as layer ones or metaverse and GameFi or some of the other narratives, the AI narratives. It's a healthy sign, because what you want is you want the quality to recover first. You want the fundamentals in the market to recover first. You want the hype and the euphoria to disappear, to die down. And you want the market to get back to a good market cycle of quality. You want to go from oversold and euphoria to oversold and paranoia. And that's why I said to you yesterday that I think a good place to put your money now is in ETH, is in the traditional DeFi players on ETH. And as you can see, those are the ones that have actually recovered the best. You can also see that ETH BTC has started to recover. So it looks like this market recovery has taken away some of the excessiveness, some of the revolting, rotten, greedy behavior that was going on here. This market recovery has actually taken that away. And the stuff that actually is recovering, hey, today there was a big AI recovery, and that is specifically because Binance announced that in the merger between Fetch, Ajax, and Ocean Protocol, I think it is, here it is, Ocean Protocol, Binance will effectively support the token merge. And so because Binance supported the token merge, people don't have to sell their tokens. And so what's happened here is you can see that the prices of all of those have gone up. So what you can see that the meme coins aren't recovering as quickly as the fundamental projects. And what Van Spencer says, you've now arrived at your destination. Crypto natives have now speedrun the full spectrum of coins, and the churn numbers of meme coins are astronomical. Expect a return to tradition, a rotation into ETH, a rotation into fundamentally driven altcoins, a rotation into FDV equals market cap coins. Basically, what these flashes are designed to do is they are designed to flash out excessive bad behavior. And what this flash is managing to do so far is flash out the bad behavior and get people back into quality, get people back into the low market, the market cap equals FDV projects. Those are the projects that people are actually getting into. And so the good news is that we're on the mend. The good news is that right now it feels like there's no interest for these coins, and that is your opportunity to buy. Because very soon retail actually will come back, because retail always come back, and because we know we're in a bull market. And when they do, it'll be the next part of the bull market when we get into the aggressive part of the bull market, if we follow the fractals, and I believe we will follow the fractals. And that is when retail and interest will come here and they will buy our bags, because we had the conviction to buy over here where nobody was interested. You see, here the interest has actually been decreasing. This is a great time to buy if you believe that we're going into a bull market, and I have no doubt that we are in the bull market. I've given you all those before. That's a different show for another day. But you have to start trading against what your emotions say. And I know that your emotions are telling you right now, you're too scared to buy. There's no reason to buy. The market ain't going to run. This is the time where you need to be buying. This is the time where you need to be preparing your bags for the imminent altcoin run. Don't wait for the pump to say, oh shit. And I know you felt a little bit of that this morning. You saw the pump. You're like, shit, why didn't I buy yesterday? Don't wait for that pump. Don't wait for that pump and go, oh my God, I missed the whole alt season because I was too scared to buy. Buy now on the way down when people are running away. When people aren't interested, that's when you want to be buying. And I know it feels uncomfortable. Believe me, every time I press the buy button, I don't even do it anymore. I just phone my traders. I'm like, listen, I'm not looking. Just you guys press the buy button. Okay, so that is the altcoin market. And I guess that another market that feels that it is very, very, very scary right now and very not worth buying right now. And I know what you guys are thinking. Like, you told us to buy Solana, and now you're saying to us, and now the problem is that we've got this feeling that Solana is not doing very well. There's a lot of FUD against Solana, and specifically what's causing that FUD is actually this chart over here. So we know that the majority of the Solana trading happened in meme coins. We know that all the DEX volume, the Jupiter DEX volume and everything else happened because of meme coins. But now no one's interested in meme coins. And there's a lot of FUD out there that says, well, if no one's interested in meme coins, well, then send that Solana, the Sol ETH chart to zero. If Solana is a chain for meme coins, and meme coins aren't the order of the day or the flavor of the day today, well, then you might as well just sell your Solana thing. Someone said this. I read this tweet here, and this for me was like, okay, this is peak FUD. You got to be looking at Solana. It says, you'll learn that reflexivity on Solana cuts both ways, fast up and fast down. The only culture you bought into with these culture coins is the max value extraction. Now, with even worse distribution than the exposed values of the fair distribution to CTO. VCs who purchased 8-figure ticket sizes from the estate want you to believe that Solana is going to zero. They're the ones selling the dreams. The reason that allowed you to have multiple X meme coins will be the same reason you give it all back. Trust me, I've been through the cycle 4 times and I've learned the hard way. Unless you're smart enough to switch to ETH right now, as a horde of the retail rushes in, just like my fine horses have. So he's basically saying, look, you bought Solana, you were fooled by the meme coin hype, you were fooled by the VCs who wanted to pump their bags, and right now, if you're smart, what you'll do is you'll ape into the ETH bags. And you know what, maybe he's right. I mean, you'll remember that somewhere over here, before we knew about the ETH ETF, I made a show and I said, look, I'm tired of ETH, and I'm selling my ETH, and I didn't land up selling because I had to unlock them off EigenLayer. You may remember that. And ever since then, the price of Solana has actually come down relative to the price of ETH as the ETH ETF was approved and the meme coin cycle started to die down and Solana started to go down. So now the question is, should we be worried? Is this the end of Solana? Has Solana peaked in the cycle? Should we be taking all our money and putting our money into ETH? That's really the questions that people are asking out there. Now, I want to actually get into that. So the first thing is, when people FUD our bags, the first thing that I go and do is I go and look at the data. So yes, there's a lot of FUD. And yes, people are telling me that meme coins are dying. And the share of voice, the share of mind in meme coins is dying. And yes, people are saying that you should be going into ETH because right now everybody's talking about ETH. But that's not what the data is saying. In fact, someone says Solana weekly non-vote transactions are the highest they've been all year. So even though the meme coin cycle is actually dying down, the total transactions on the Solana networks are the highest that they have been all year last week. In terms of daily transactions, just have a look at how the chart is actually increasing. In terms of daily active addresses, just look at how the chart is actually increasing despite the fact that meme coins are actually going down. In terms of DEX trading volume, just look at the DEX trading volume. Solana, again, is the winner in terms of DEX trading volume, and this is in a period where the meme coins are going down. So people are saying as well, he says, both signs of froth and weakness have been showing up across the entire Solana ecosystem. Solana dipping below key support levels, 130 and 127 the flash. Celebrities like Lil Pump and Iggy promoting coins. highly anticipated airdrops such as 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗦, Camino, Drift, Parcel, failing to cross $100 million market cap, declining revenue on Pump.Fun. However, there is a lot of good things happening for Solana. The first thing the good things that's happening on Solana, the data is showing us that despite the decline in meme coins, the tokens, the volume is still very high. The second thing is, okay, we know that there was huge phantom adoption because of the meme coin hype. We know that Firedance is launching. We know that Visa and MasterCard are actually playing on Solana. We know all of that. But again, we look at data. And if you look at the data, you can see that all the metrics on Solana are actually growing. Just look at the 7-day change in the TVLs of the DeFi protocols. Look at the numbers on Drift protocol. Just look at the total trade fees on Drift protocol. Just look at how much volume is actually happening on Drift protocol. In terms of on-chain volume, Solana still leads the on-chain volume. In terms of shipping projects, you've got Pyth, you've got Helio, you've got Fuse, you've got a whole lot of amazing projects being shipped on Solana. Also, one thing that people have forgotten about, because it hasn't been the flavor of the month, because meme coins were the flavor of the month, is people forgot about 𝗎𝗏n. And if I just take you back like 30 days, 60 days, everybody was talking about 𝗎𝗏n. These 𝗎𝗏n applications are getting huge traction on the Solana ecosystem. Helium, we know about the packages, the mobile packages they've got. Hive Mapper and their decentralized mapping. Render. Teleport. Now, Teleport, for those of you who don't know, is a decentralized Uber. Now, they recently launched, and what you can see, they recently launched in Texas. Driver take-up has been impressive, over 200 drivers signing up. What they're launching is a decentralized Uber, where Uber doesn't take a huge cut of the drivers' packages. They're decentralizing Uber, and they are creating another 𝗎𝗏n project on the Solana network. So yes, maybe the meme coin market has slowed down. I don't think that the meme coin market is going to die. Forget about that. It's not dying. It's just going to change and morph, and we're going to get into something new this cycle. But at the same time, Solana does have a lot of other things going for it. It is the biggest chain in terms of USD stablecoin transactions because it's so cheap. It is the biggest chain when it comes to 𝗎𝗏n. It is the best chain in terms of trading derivatives. And that is why Drift is doing so well when it comes to derivatives. And so yes, there may be a slowdown in Solana when it comes to meme coins, but in terms of what's being built on Solana, in terms of all the 𝗎𝗏n projects, in terms of all the trading projects, in terms of projects like TipLink, which is an amazing onboarding tool. In fact, if I remember correctly, Jeremy earlier said TipLink has transformed how I onboard people into Solana because you can just tip people that don't have a wallet using the Solana network. And so, yes, the meme coin cycle may be dead, but meme coins weren't the only thing powering Solana. And that is what the data is actually showing us. And so you will get a lot of FUD around people on Solana, around people holding Solana. And you will get a lot of people telling you to move into ETH. But you know what you need to do when that happens. You need to go against the grain and you need to be looking at the buying. Now, just for shits and giggles, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a big circle over here and I'm going to say, this is when we said that people were FUDing our bags. So this was FUD. Let's just write FUD. It's very hard to type on the screen, but let's just write FUD. We'll keep this chart and let's see how well we did by buying into when others are actually fearful. Okay, so we'll keep this here. I won't delete this chart. And next time we'll look at that when others, we'll look at how successful that strategy actually was. All right, cool. How many of you actually tuned in to see me take my shirt off again? How many of you want that again? Be honest, be honest. Is that why you came? Is that why you came? That's why you came all the way from Romania, right? Because you wanted to see me take my shirt off. So I've got fans coming from Romania to see me take my shirt off. You could have just gone to Andrew Tate's house. If you were in Romania, you could have just gone directly to Andrew Tate's house. I've got Yulia here. She's from Romania, and she lives down the road from Andrew Tate. No, not even close. You don't. The Romanians don't like him apparently. Okay, I didn't say that. You said that. So I want to talk a little bit about yesterday in a slightly more serious tone. So yes, yesterday was fun. Thank you to all of you for sending these images to my wife. Thank you. She already doesn't really respect what I do at work, and now she's definitely not going to respect what I do at work. Okay, so I mean, thank you for doing that. But let's talk about the more serious side of it. What did we actually do yesterday? So I want to quickly talk about the GUMMY project launch, and I want to talk about the GUMMY chart, and I want to talk about GUMMY as a project. So remember, we launched GUMMY to show you guys the power of a meme coin and how to launch a meme coin. And unlike any other meme coin, everybody that got GUMMY tokens actually got their GUMMY tokens for free through an airdrop. So no one in the Banter community had to pay for their GUMMY airdrop. All they did was get them free out of a series of different airdrops that we created, just so that we could have a way to distribute the tokens to the community. The problem is that unlike any other token, with another token, if you buy a token at a certain price, you are reluctant to sell it under the price that you bought it at, and you hold onto it so that you will get a profit, right? The problem with GUMMY is that what we were doing is we just kept airdropping and airdropping and airdropping and airdropping free tokens. And the result is that unfortunately, that put a lot of downward pressure on the charts, because people were saying, look, I received free tokens, the market's going down, let me sell the free tokens. And that's why we made a decision that all the tokens that we had left over that we were going to airdrop, we ain't going to airdrop anymore, or we're not going to create any more airdrops. And in fact, what we did yesterday, for those of you who didn't watch, or for those of you who didn't understand what happened, we literally took 20 to 25% of the supply and we burnt it. And at the time, that was worth $12 million. We burnt $12 million live on air. And the truth is, I mean, even when I woke up this morning, the first thing I did was I tweeted this. I said, like, I just can't believe that I burnt $12 million on air. But what does that mean for GUMMY holders? Well, for one, that means that there are no more free tokens that are going to be dropped onto the market, except for the obligations that we already have, because obviously we're going to honor all our obligations. If you've been farming on Evo, if you've been farming on Banter Bubbles, if you've been farming, if you're holding 𝗕𝗘𝗧, if you went to Crypto Banter School, we have kept those tokens aside to airdrop to you. But we won't be creating any more tokens, any more airdrops around the GUMMY token. Number one. Number two, all the tokens that we had for marketing spend and everything else, we ain't going to use those anymore. We've burnt them all. We've effectively destroyed every token in the project except the tokens that you guys have out there. And what that does is it makes GUMMY a full community project with all tokens out there in circulation right now. And it makes GUMMY the most transparent project on the chain. Why? Because I don't know any other project that literally disclosed every single one of the tokens, even the snipe tokens. And you can see that actually we burnt all those tokens yesterday, except for the Blowfin airdrop ones that we have an obligation, the Evo airdrop, the 𝗕𝗫𝗕𝗓 airdrop, the 𝗕𝗘𝗣𝗢𝗡 airdrop, the Bubbles airdrop, some committed marketing activities that we've already committed to, the market makers who need to keep the token alive, and liquidity. And we kept a 4% contingency in case we left people out, in case, I don't know, we just kept it, and we will burn that if we don't actually end up using it. So now, GUMMY tokens are completely in the market. There's no more supply pressure that's actually going to go. That's actually going to go. We don't have any tokens, as you can see. Every single token is accounted for here, and we don't have any more tokens that we can possibly airdrop. And so what this means is that now there should be no sell pressure on the GUMMY chart, and that you guys, the community, have full control of the token, and it's a full meme coin, like 𝗥𝗦𝗡, like 𝗕𝗘𝗢. The only difference is there are no insiders, there are no founders, there are no nothing. It's all with you guys right now. And so that is what we did with GUMMY. Now, as you know, the one place that you can still stake GUMMY, or where you could have staked GUMMY, was you could have staked your GUMMY on memestaking.com to actually get baked airdrop. And we made an announcement that the baked airdrop that the baked token was going to launch before the end of June. And we told you further that the baked token was going to launch on the 30th of June. And we intend to honor that obligation. We will launch the baked token on the 30th of June. There are only two ways to get baked token airdrops at the moment. Number one, if you open an account, number one, if you staked your GUMMY. If you staked your GUMMY on memecoin, on memestaking.com, 10% of the total baked supply will be dropped to you guys that actually staked it. The only other way right now to get baked tokens, and with baked, we ain't going to do a lot of airdrops because we learned our lesson with GUMMY because it put too much downward pressure on the charts, and we want baked to do better than GUMMY. And we want them both to do well, but we learned on the back of GUMMY, and we want baked to do very, very well. So only two ways right now to get baked, and only 15% of the supply in total of baked is ever going to be airdropped. One, stake your stake GUMMY on memestaking.com. If you missed that, open an account on Blofin, make a deposit. Here's the link over here, and you've got to make a deposit, and then you got to make a deposit and you're going to make a trade, any trade. Just because otherwise because it's a non-KYC exchange, because anyone can open an account on Blofin, it's a non-KYC exchange. And I'm saying that again so that our people that live in countries where they can't open exchanges, this is a non-KYC exchange. Deposit money, put in a trade between now and the time that we airdrop the baked token, which will be shortly after launch, and you will get your baked token, and you will get baked tokens. That's the only way right now to get baked tokens. A total of 15% of the supply of baked is going to be airdropped, and that is it. The rest are going to go straight into the market. So you now know what you need to do. You need to go and open an account on Blofin. You need to deposit money, and you need to trade. That is what you need to do if you want to get baked. Baked launches on the 30th of June. GUMMY, we burnt 20% of the supply. We have 0 tokens. It's now fully a community project. We're going to obviously support it as much as we can and help as much as we can. But ultimately now it's all about the power of the community. All the activities that we said we're going to do, of course, we're going to continue doing them. GUMMY games, all the other stuff that we're going to do, we're going to continue to do. But now it's got to be a full community project. And as I said, we learned a lot of lessons with GUMMY. We think we've got an amazing token. I think the best thing that we could have done is what we did yesterday by burning the supply and taking away the sell pressure. And that should turn this chart as soon as the meme chart actually runs. And now the next one that we look forward to is actually launching baked with you guys. And that's happening on the 30th of June. As soon as I get back from Los Angeles, we're going to come back here and we're going to launch the token. And we're going to have a big show where we talk all about that. People I see in the chat, people say, are there any plans to keep staking GUMMY for other coins? Yes, lots. Meme staking is going to be used for multiple tokens. We've got multiple tokens and multiple chains asking us. Someone says, what about the 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗡 price? I mean, I don't control the 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗡 price. I think the 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗡 meme is an amazing meme. We support it. We've got lots of sponsors that are coming. I'm a big fan. I'm a big holder of 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗡. I'm going to continue to hold my 𝗥𝗢𝗢𝗡. Someone says, what if we already have an account on GUMMY? Just trade from your account. That's it. If you trade from your account, you'll be eligible for it. Why does the Wales School link work for baked? No, for baked you have to open an account on Blofin. Someone says thanks LFG. Thanks LFG too. The true top G. I did enjoy this. I must say I did enjoy this tweet here yesterday. I mean, apparently people made it very what's the word? Not obvious. What's the word when they rub it in your face? They said that you don't have that my biceps are not the same as Andrew Tate's biceps. They said that, you know, my body is not exactly Andrew Tate's body, but they said it in a much more, what's the word? Polite. What's it? Is it polite? I don't know if it's polite. They weren't diplomatic about it. Let's put it that way. But I mean, you can't, insider says Justin 𝗕𝗤𝗕 bought $40,000 worth of daddy and burnt it out of existence. But then our intern, who's a gem, basically says, CryptoMan Run burned $12 million worth of GUMMY. It was like the craziest thing. Josh, I'm looking at the chat here. A lot of people are saying they can't unstake their GUMMY. What do you say to those people?
Tell them to check their wallets. It's in their wallets.
Yeah, but how do you unstake it?
It's unstaked. It's just...
apparently it's in your wallet. Just check your wallet and it'll already be unstaked. Okay, when are we fixing this?
It should be fixed soon.
Okay, it will be fixed soon. Okay, so it does actually go into your wallet. All right, guys, I'm going to see you guys again tomorrow. Tomorrow we're doing a banter. But then remember, after tomorrow, I'm going to film the next episodes of Killer Whales in Los Angeles next week. So next week, I'm going to be like half here, half not here. If you want to get hold of me, if you want to watch what I'm up to at CryptoManRun on Twitter, I will see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, trade well, my friends.